I'm Diana Pierce.
And I'm Joan Steffen for Paul Majors. Coming up tonight on News 11, a severe storm sets windshield wipers in motion.
Smoke pours from downed power lines in many areas.
What looks ominous is a little less serious than it could have been.
And a star is born right here in the Twin Cities.
News 11 is next.
People buy furniture at Levitt's than any other furniture store in the world. Let's ask why.
I want good quality. If Levitt's has that better price, why pay more somewhere else?
Levitt's has the best prices. It's that simple.
For example, only $88 buys this twin-size French provincial tester bed. And only $88 buys the small deck, bachelor chest, nightstand, corner desk, chair, or mirror.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Now, the Twin Cities' fastest growing television news. News 11. With Paul Majors, Diana Pierce, Tom Reiter on sports, and meteorologist Paul Douglas.
The wind whips a wall cloud close to homes in Golden Valley, swirling an ominous warning. Good evening. Paul Majors is off. Topping News 11 tonight. A severe storm hits the Twin Cities like no other this summer.
Tornadoes threaten to cause serious damage, but instead bring rain we haven't seen for weeks.
The storm downed power lines in some areas with its strength. In Tonka Bay and Excelsior, smoke rose out of downed power lines. This is just one place where the storm took its toll. Power is still out in some parts of Excelsior. Thousands of Twin Cities residents are without power right now, and NSP is working to restore service. The power company says up to 35,000 customers are without power, and many homes may be without power all night. The storm and the intense heat caused the outage. 15,000 of the customers are in Minneapolis and its suburbs, and 10,000 customers are in the St. Paul and East Metro area. NSP has emergency crews on duty, and they'll be working through the night.
Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport didn't escape damage from this afternoon storm. Officials closed down the airport for about 20 minutes. Strong winds rumbled through. 70-mile-per-hour winds blew over baggage carts and tipped over signs. The Gold Concourse had to be evacuated after a piece of metal flew through a window. Luckily, no one was hurt. Again, the northwestern portion of Hennepin County seems to be one of the heavily damaged areas by the storm.
Bernie Grace is standing by right now, and he has the latest on his area. Bernie?
Well, we're in Corcoran. As you can see right behind me, several of the power poles along Highway 19 toppled down when the storm came through. One lane of Highway 19 north of 55 is closed down for about a half a mile here. Now, there were a few power poles and trees also down in Sherwood on Lake Minnetonka, and in Orono, a few power lines were also blown down. Now, NSP estimates, as you said, upwards of about 25,000 customers have lost power as a result of the storm. And across the field, you'll see here an outbuilding. It's just across the field from where the poles blew down. Part of the roof is blown off, and we saw scraps of that roof across the road about a half a mile. So the wind was pretty powerful when it came through the Highway 19, 55, and 50 area here in western Hennepin County. But all in all, most of the people around here are telling me that was a small price to pay for the much-needed rain out here, and they just hope it keeps raining. Back to you, Joan and Diana.
Okay.
All right, Brent.
Thank you very much. In St. Paul, a woman miraculously escaped injury when strong winds blew in a large plate glass window. Workers boarded up the shattered window at the office of the Spanish-Speaking Affairs Council on Rice Street. Witnesses say that around 4:30 this afternoon, a secretary got up to close a door that had blown open, and seconds later, the window shattered right where she had been sitting.
Paul Douglas joins us now from the backyard with more on the storm system that kept all of us so busy this afternoon, especially you in the weather office.
It was a wild afternoon, something we really haven't seen much this summer. The drought of '88 continues, and it came to a rather abrupt and across parts of 11 country this afternoon. Just a few drips and drops in the backyard right now, a far cry from the tormented sky that churned over the backyard about 2 hours ago. And here's the silver lining. You've heard all the reports of damage and wind damage and tornado touchdowns. Check this out. On the backyard, half an inch of rain fell just from this afternoon storm. Certainly not enough to alleviate the drought. But I'll tell you what, your backyard is going to be looking a lot better, a lot greener and lusher over the next couple of days. Let's check live Doppler, show you where those storms are right now. The threat of severe weather has pretty much diminished for most of 11 country. I'm still concerned southern Minnesota, down around Worthington, Slayton, and Tracy in the southwestern part of the state. Big storms boiling up there. Some heavy weather around LeSueur. Mankato picked up an inch of rain in a very short period of time this afternoon. The real threat right now seems to be down in Kenyon, Owatonna, generally the southern third of Minnesota, and across parts of western Wisconsin. A severe storm watch in effect up until 10 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow we're going to break a record which has been on the books since 1936. So you can tell the airport is still open. Good news there. The real threat of severe weather is to the east. We'll tell you about the heat coming up in just a few minutes. Joan and Kirsten.
Or Diana. Okay.
And
it's 6
Fred
o'clock now.
and Susan.
Thanks, Paul. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Well, again, heavy damage out to the west of us. Dennis Stauffer is standing by live, and he'll give us an update on that situation out there. Dennis, where are you?
Joan, Diana, I'm also in Corcoran, somewhat of a distance from Bernie, but also in the western part of Hennepin County, which is one of the first areas hit by that storm, the storm that went through about 4 o'clock this afternoon. It did this kind of damage, which you can see behind me. This was a pole barn. We're at the corner of about County Road 30 and 116. It did some very serious damage, as you can see. Blew in this barn, scattered debris as far as I can see in almost every direction from me here. The residents here say it came with very little warning.
Over here, and the wind has picked up, and you couldn't even see because the dirt was blowing so bad. We went and sat down in here, and when we looked out, the pole barn was gone.
Did you ever really take cover?
Well, we don't have a basement, you know, so we went in the bathroom that doesn't have any supporting walls. That's about it.
We traveled up and down the road in all directions from here. We found things like lost siding. In addition to this barn, other barns were destroyed. We found silos that had been toppled. We have things like siding and fallen trees all over this part of Corcoran, throughout the area here. As you can see behind me here, we have debris scattered in the field out here. This is siding, some of it from the barn here, some from nearby homes. We had one resident say they had a chair thrown through their window. All apparently straight line winds, judging by the pattern of things out here, but obviously serious damage. The good news is that apparently no one was hurt. Joan, Diana?
No sightings of tornadoes out that area, just straight line winds, is that correct? For what you know?
Yes, if I'm here, I'm just barely hearing you, Diana, but from all indications this is straight line damage, not tornado damage.
Okay, thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Well, a fire that may have started in an effort to keep some cattle cool has destroyed generations of work on a family farm. Flames consumed a dairy and cattle barn on Allen Lane's farm overnight. More than 100 cattle died in the inferno. Firefighters from 9 communities tried everything to save what they could. And today a bulldozer and crane were used to begin burying the remains of a dairy business that was started some 120 years ago. Arnold Lane sold the farm to his son earlier this year, and he estimates damage at $500,000. He's unsure whether his son will start over.
The herd, you know, it's gone. That's your income, you know. It's really, that's going to be the problem, is the income. You know?
Arnold hopes insurance will cover about half the cost of the damage. His son is on vacation and is returning this evening. A fund has been set up for Arnold Lane. If you'd like to donate, send checks to the State Bank of Rogers, Post Office Box 127, Rogers, Minnesota 55374.
A Bloomington family is homeless tonight after flames ravaged their home. Just before 10, firefighters from 6 stations battled a hot blaze on Morris Road last night. The fire gutted the garage and roof of the home. 3 firefighters were taken to the hospital for heat exhaustion. An electrical problem started that fire. Damage is estimated at $100,000. Investigators are still trying to figure out why a semi flipped over near a notorious stretch of road in St. Paul. The semi carrying boxed furniture flipped on its side from the Shepherd Road ramp to Highway 5. Driver James Ham of Jordan was not seriously hurt.
Part of the new Walker Arts Center bridge is in place tonight. The structure will link the sculpture garden to Loring Park. Earlier this morning, our Sunrise crew caught workers lifting a span of the Irene Hickson Whitney Bridge. It will span 16 lanes of traffic over Hennepin, Lyndale, and I-94. The bridge won't be finished for a couple of weeks yet. Still ahead on News 11, the U.S. crop report holds more bad news for farmers.
And a reminder about exceptions to the watering bans in the Twin Cities.
Even after playing all day, dreaming up more fun just comes naturally.
Wisconsin Dells. The fun comes naturally. Great fun for the family. There's so much to do, so much to see. Day and night, it's a place to be. Wisconsin Dells. The fun comes naturally.
For free guide, call 1-800-22-DELLS. Then come play.
The tiger cage. And American POWs are held captive in cages like this one for months, sometimes for years. Some say there were no heroes in Vietnam. I'm Robert Stack, and I invite you to judge for yourself. The Vietnam Experience from Time Life Books brings the war home like nothing else I've ever seen. You'll witness frontline combat so close you can taste it. You'll meet the tunnel rats and SEALs, the Green Beret and medics. The leaders who mapped out the strategies and the grunts fought to the death carrying them out. Your first book, Combat Photographer, shows you the wars you've never seen it before, with more than 220 photographs, many never before published to civilian eyes. And right now, there's a special reason to call for a 10-day free examination of Combat Photographer. The price of your introductory volume is just $4.99. That's a savings of $10 off the regular series price. And you'll receive this detailed military map of Vietnam as a free gift. The Vietnam Experience. Some say there were no heroes. Call now for your first volume. Then you decide for yourself.
To order your first book and a free map, call now 1-800-262-4700. It will be sent to you free for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $4.99 plus shipping and handling. Other books will follow, one about every other month. Keep only those you want, cancel anytime. So call now 1-800-262-4700.
The U.S. crop report out tonight doesn't give farmers much hope for the future for crops. A little rain helped in the central and eastern Corn Belt states. 13% of the corn crop is in very poor condition. 4% of the U.S. soybean crop is also very poor. Only 2% of each crop is considered excellent. The rest is considered in poor to good condition.
Grain prices continue their upward trend today, but it is probably too soon to tell what difference today's thunderstorms may make. Business editor Mary Stuckey has that story and more in tonight's Dollars and Cents. Mary?
Well, Joan, I'm told that parts of the drought areas in Minnesota got an average half-inch of rain today, but experts say farmers really need 3 or 4 inches over the next 2 weeks. Today, prices on grain markets reflected the drought, with soybeans, corn, and oats futures up by substantial amounts. In fact, over the last 4 days, experts estimate farmers lost another 10% of their soybean crop. Well, it was a mixed day on Wall Street, with stocks affected by computer-triggered selling. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up almost a point to close just over 2131. Trading was active. In business notes tonight, June was a good month for the housing and manufacturing industries, and the government's index of leading economic indicators saw its biggest advance in 18 months, up almost 1.5% in June. Minnesota gasoline prices are up 4 cents a gallon in recent weeks. The New York Times today reports developer Donald Trump wants to acquire nearly 25% of Pillsbury, and the barge industry says the drought may cost it $200 million. And of course, the drought of '88 is also producing hard times for a lot of farmers, but not everyone is facing disaster. News 11's Kirsten Lindquist tells us one northern Minnesota grower is optimistic.
The wild rice harvest has begun in northern Minnesota, and Harold Cosbaugh is optimistic about this year's crop. Even though about 25% of the state's rice has been hurt by the drought, the rest is looking very good.
It was a good growing season because we had nice sunshine and good temperatures. We had a lot of sunshine. And those who had sufficient water, for them it was perfect.
Prices for Minnesota-grown wild rice were depressed last year because California growers had been producing huge quantities of the stuff, and the market was flooded. This season, though, there have been production cutbacks, and with the drought, Cosbaugh says, there are signs that for some it could be a more profitable year.
The prices have gone up anywhere from 10 to 20%, due to the fact that the markets are starting to realize there's a shortage of supply.
Cosbow kept most of last year's crop in storage, so he could be one Minnesota farmer who comes out of the 1988 drought better off than many others. Kirsten Lindquist, News 11.
The northern Minnesota wild rice harvest is expected to last several more weeks. Boy, it's nice to see an optimistic story for farmers these days.
Very much so. Thank you, Mary. Still to come on News 11, Paul Douglas has more on the storm that may help farmers.
Now, also ahead, one man proves you can fight the IRS and win.
Now at Highland, our man Norm is counting inventory.
272.
Got the time, Norm?
123. 124.
And we're overstocked, so we've cut hundreds of prices. Like this Sharp VHS video recorder, just $197. And this Sanyo microwave oven with variable power, only $96. So come to Highland's inventory clearance.
Lunch, Norm?
Nah, I just ate. 9.
But please hurry.
10.
They're here with a whole new act. The Grapevine Tour, only at Hardee's. Buy any 2 Rise and Shine biscuits or any dessert and collect an all-new California raisin figurine for just 99 cents. A new rocker or roller each week. Collect all 6 only at Hardee's, because we're out to win you over.
Did you know you can get more Bears on the line here than in Chicago? Because NSP electric rates are 37% less. You can light more bright lights here than Hollywood, because our electricity costs 17% less. And you can do more business here for less than even Wall Street, because NSP electric rates are among the lowest in the country. And isn't this a good place to be? Creative energy, NSP.
Summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song and then we strolled that golden sand.
Let love carry you away to Santa Barbara.
Two sweethearts and the summer wind.
This afternoon storm system seemed to skip across the metro area, hitting some areas, missing others. One of the places hit is a jetway on the Gold Concourse at Twin Cities International Airport. Debris apparently blew up the jetway and glass shattered in the lounge area shortly after 4 p.m. No reports of any injuries in the area. The gate was not in use at the time.
Apparently Mother Nature just deciding she had to remind us that she's still out there, still powerful.
And it goes without saying, Joan and Diana, the Weather Service did a real good job. We are blessed with one of the best National Weather Service offices really in the country, and I'm not saying that to be patronizing. I've worked in other cities where the product is not nearly so good. With a tornado on the ground in Waconia, you really have to err on the side of safety. And with lots of reports, probably over a dozen reports of funnels throughout the afternoon, I think the Weather Service did a good job, and people did indeed take shelter when they were supposed to. This hasn't happened much this summer, so I think folks are a little rusty.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you do now? We're so used to that hot sunshine.
It's still novel right now.
Felt good. Didn't need the twisters and the funnel clouds, but the rain sure felt soothing. Psychologically felt good. Let's check Doppler, show you what it looked like between about 3:30 and present. And you can see the squall line that moved through at about this time. A tornado on the ground near Waconia. The first warnings went out for Carver County. Lots of reports of funnels around Lake Minnetonka, around Long Lake, down in the Anderson Lakes area of Eden Prairie, Bloomington, Edina, funnels spotted in the vicinity of Excelsior. Even a funnel spotted in downtown St. Paul at Summit and Lexington. Wall clouds over Roseville, lots of reports of pea-size hail, and a very strong gust front whipped up dust as that downburst came through with winds again, as you already heard, gusting up to 70 miles an hour. Here's live Doppler. This is the big scan, and you can see a pretty good swath of rain. Duluth, Sandstone, Pine City, now southeast of the metro, down around Le Sueur. And down around Prior Lake, some big storms also sprouting up in southwestern Minnesota, down around Pipestone, Slayton, and Tracy. Some of these could still be severe. Here's lightning track 11. And you can see most of the thunderstorms right now. The heaviest activity showing up over parts of central Minnesota. All this activity is moving east at about 30 miles an hour, and the real threat of severe weather has now diminished. Look at the tops of these thunderheads up to about 50,000 feet. This is the air mass, the sticky, soupy sun we will be enjoying tomorrow, and we're going to break a record which has been on the books since 1936. Tomorrow will be the 37th day above 90, and it's going to be hot indeed. Some more thunderstorms popping up in the western Dakotas. Here's lightning track. This is over the past hour. About 500 cloud-to-ground strikes. As you can see, most of the wild stuff now Le Sueur southwestward to about Austin and Albert Lee. All this activity now moving east. Time for me to make my walk, and it'll be a pleasure. It was not a pleasure about 2 hours ago when all heck was breaking through. Big boiling clouds passed directly over the backyard, and for a time we asked ourselves, where do we go if a tornado strikes? People have asked me that on the street, and I don't have a real good answer. Are you like the captain on a ship? Do you go down with a ship? I don't know. But it sure looked threatening about 2 hours ago. Let's check the statistics. It was a hot day before the storms hit. 99 officially, 71 this morning, 2,300ths of an inch of rain officially. In the backyard now, a thunder shower at the airport, 71 degrees, northwesterly winds at 6, the dew point 69, the humidity 93, and the barometer now falling. Much of the nation received a rather nice dose of rain. As we take one more look at lightning track, there are these severe storms now passing off outside of 11 country. Let's check super radar. Big storms across the deep south. There's that severe storm watch in effect. All the wild weather forming on the boundary between cool and hot. And that front is going to stall, leaving us in the soup right through the end of the week. More 90s on tap. There's the severe storm watch in effect till 10 o'clock. Cool down to 71 degrees. Tomorrow up near 100. The forecast for tonight, that severe storm watch, the big threat now southern Minnesota and Wisconsin. And it's going to be a soaking rain for much of southeastern Minnesota this evening, upper 60s. Tomorrow, hot sun near 100. We should break another record. A lesser chance of thunder late in the day, and sound like a broken record. Mid to upper 90s here right through Saturday. We'll keep an eye on the sky for now. The danger over for most of us. Joan and Diana, back to you.
Got it right.
Got it right.
Thank you very much, sir. Also in for kids' sake, a lot of children dream of being movie stars, but few realize that dream. After a recent nationwide search, one St. Paul teenager now has the chance of a lifetime. News 11's Gail Plawacki has the story.
My name is Shawn Skie. I go to school, but maybe sometimes I break a rule. It's not real big. I say it's very small. I tell you why I'm only 4 feet tall. I'm only 4 feet tall because God made me that way. I'm on
13-year-old Shawn may be small, but he's big on energy. And he says it's that and his own special brand of charisma that landed him a role in the remake, the movie Lord of the Flies.
I got a strong, deep voice and good personality.
Oh, by the way, the album's out. Go get it. Shawn was one of only 35 boys selected to be in the movie. Nearly 10,000 auditioned. What's more amazing is that Shawn has no acting experience. His interest in rap came from just listening to his favorite artist, Jazzy Jeff. Then Shawn decided to strike out and do his own rap.
We're kicking it live, as could be.
Despite his lack of experience, Shawn is not worried about his ability to act and even thinks there may be more filmmaking in his future.
Yeah, knew for my future. Never did it before. Probably after the movie, probably somebody else might want me in another movie.
Well, you just never know. Shawn leaves for Jamaica to begin filming at the end of this week. In St. Paul, Gail Plawacki, News 11.
And one other Twin Cities boy was also cast in the film. He is a 10-year-old from Plymouth. They'll be filming until November 8th. Coming up next in sports, a preview of what the Twins face tonight in Toronto.
And the New Orleans Saints thought they were marching into cool Wisconsin weather, but Tom Ryther will tell us what really happened next.
Budget Power, the home improvement expert, brings you hot values and store-wide savings during the Sizzle Sale. Make your great outdoors last into the night with the beauty and security of Toro's Lifestyle Systems. Choose from a variety of Toro lights that are safe and easy to install, including Toro's new post lighting system. Eagle's dependability is yours in both the innovative Surge Block, the only duplex receptacle with replaceable plug-in surge protection for valuable electronics, and the stylish switches and receptacles. Save at Budget Power, the home improvement expert.
It's Saturday, but the hardest working member of your family doesn't have the day off.
I'm driving all day, yeah, gotta do my work. I got to work, gotta do my work. Yeah.
That's why your car deserves a promotion to Fina Super Unleaded. It's got all the octane your car needs for better on-the-job performance 7 days a week. The hardest working member of your family. Your car's got a friend at Fina.
regardless of where you're going or when you're going, chances are you'll come across a place like this. And that's good, because this is the place that brings you good things you can't get anyplace else. Like high detergent, super clean, unleaded gasolines, with cash or credit at the same low price. And it brings you one more thing, something no one else can.
One more step, one more word, learning to trust in a friend.
From day one, every baby goes right to work, growing and learning in a style all her own. Hi, I'm Christopher Reeve. We'll see how babies and parents discover each other and discover the world. For kids' sake, join me for a very fresh look at the first year of life, the discovery year.
Wednesday, August 10th at 7 on TV 11.
Tom Ryther joins us now with a dramatic story out of California.
Really with a unique story, and it's worth watching. I think watch closely a little bit later on. The life of a jockey. It may look exciting, but every time they take to the track, their lives are literally on the line, and I offer this as an example. It happened yesterday at Del Mar Track in California. Veteran big-name jockey Lafitte Pincay and the Red Silks riding Seal the Deal in the mid-stretch, watching the inside lane as the horse swerved into the rail. Pincay was thrown, landing into that rail. Here it is again. Pincay listed in serious condition with a bruised lung and broken ribs. He's lucky to be alive. The horse was not injured. And as I say, Pincay in serious condition. The Twins will try to bounce back from that tough 3-1 loss yesterday at Toronto as we set the stage for the game tonight on the shores of Lake Ontario. It'll be Charlie Lee against Jim Clancy. The Twins trail Oakland by 6.5. Oakland will be at Chicago tonight. And believe it or not, the new Dome scoreboard has been installed. It is operational. The Metrodome officials were running last year's Twins highlight film in color to show the media today. This board costs almost $5 million. Some technical things have to be worked out, but it should put the Dome scoreboard on a par with the rest of the country. And it will be in use Sunday night for the Vikings game with New Orleans. Things are as usual for the Vikings in Mankato. The squad continues to go through two-a-day workouts in the sweltering heat, getting ready for Sunday's game with New Orleans. No other holdouts have reported to camp, which includes running back Darren Nelson, who wants his contract to be renegotiated. The New Orleans Saints will not have far to travel Sunday when they come to the Dome from their training camp in La Crosse, Wisconsin. General Manager Jim Finks says they moved to La Crosse to escape the heat and humidity of the South, but the weather up here is right in there with the long, hot summers of the South, and they are on a par with the Vikings, both teams sweating it out, getting ready for their preseason game. And they're selling all kinds of Saints goodies in La Crosse, this T-shirt and pins, the whole thing.
Selling well?
I hope they're not going to bail out on the whole. Don't bail out on the Packers and Vikings, though, just for these interlopers in our territory here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Finally tonight, thanks to Action 11, tax refund time for one man is not far away. A Maple Grove man has waited and waited on the IRS for his cash. And as News 11's Mike Igo tells us, he finally has something to smile about.
This IRS refund check was a long time coming, an 8-month wait, in fact. And without the help of Action 11, Hugh Cox of Maple Grove might still be waiting for his $1,100. Since he filed his return back in January, the only thing Hugh's best effort produced was frustration.
We felt kind of like we got to run around, and they gave us one story. We called again and talked to another gentleman a couple of months later, and we got the same runaround. He laughed and told us that he'd be surprised if it was a year before we got our refund. And
fortunately, Hugh was able to make his way to the bank a lot sooner, as Action 11 shortened that wait to just weeks. Today, he was relieved to be able to cash the $1,100 check since he's on a limited income. Now, even though we helped streamline the bureaucracy here, the question remains, what went wrong, IRS?
It was a problem that just shouldn't have happened. Actually, very few refund checks are delayed or missent. But if it's your check, it's just one too many, and we're sorry that it happened.
And remember, if you've got a problem with red tape of any kind that's got you seeing red, well, why not let Action 11 take a crack at your problem? Just drop me a line at our always easy to remember address of Action 11, Box 111, Minneapolis 55440. And it's Mike Igo, Action 11.
Maybe if we're lucky, he'll take us out to dinner tonight with his refund.
Let's give him a call.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.
someone say deal?